The following podcast is intended for mature audiences only. The views and opinions expressed within the following podcast belong solely to the individuals expressing them, and it should also be noted that said individuals have absolutely zero credibility, expertise, or even basic knowledge of any of the topics discussed, and any so-called facts and information presented within the following podcast should not be taken seriously by anyone. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, welcome to the podcast. What podcast? We don't know. It's like the crew cast. It is a cast. I'm Jack Kerrigan.
And I'm that guy.
Yeah, I'm joined here by Kevin, otherwise known as Kevin again. Otherwise known as Cyrus Dredd, otherwise known as a billion other nom de guerres. But you know what? What can you do in 2026? You got to be safe, man. You got to be safe. You got to have a bunch of different aliases. And when I say safe, I mean emotionally safe. You need to be emotionally safe.
I'm that guy. I'm even you, maybe. We'll see.
But yeah, I'm Jack. This is Kevin. We've been talking about podcasting for
the
years.
Last 5 minutes. Yes.
We just decided this. We just woke up today. We just decided this. But we're constantly, today is a Sunday, time of recording. It's the 22nd of February. And usually on Sundays, we run into each other and we always end up getting in a conversation. And at the end of that conversation, I always end up saying the same cliche fucking statement of, damn.
We should have done that in a podcast.
That should have been a podcast. Everybody
Murder.
wants to listen to us. Like, who doesn't want to listen to us? But, you know, it's what it is. It's good stuff.
Indeed.
But, so we were having a really fun conversation. And real quick, before we get into that, would you grab your cup, take a drink, and set it back down? Okay, you don't have to be crazy about it. Okay, cool. I was making sure that it going on the thing didn't, like, shake it too much.
No.
All right, and so we were having a conversation like we usually do about entertainment. That's kind of where our conversations tend to go. We talk about...
It's always about entertainment.
It goes into stories, like we discuss things about stories. And so, you know, that's a good place as any to start. Because both Kevin and I, we really enjoy storytelling. I mean, I'm speaking for him. He might hate it, but I'm assuming.
I do. I like myself a good story.
You know. I like a good story. But we also don't like bad storytelling. Like it makes me a little grumpy. I don't know about you. But we've been, when we get together, we'll talk about stories that we're working on. We'll talk about stories we've got to engage with through like tabletop role-playing games and emergent stories and stuff like that. And then we'll talk about stories of shows that we like, stories that we're writing, stories that we're working on. Stories, you know, stories. Everything's a story. Life's a story. You're a story.
Write your own story.
Be a story. Storyboard. And by stories, we're not talking about you fucking...
Write a storyboard. Don't make the storyboard, though.
Whoa, don't make the storyboard. God damn it.
Write a storyboard. Don't make the storyboard.
If I had my sound effects board on right now, I'd be like, you lose, because I didn't do my warm-ups. So now it's a bunch of fucking Rick Sanchez-isms from, but apparently that's funny now. So that's cool. It's fine. But earlier, we were talking about how squeaky that fucking chair is.
Yeah,
and, like,
I just now noticed it.
Hate that chair. Like,
squeak?
My God, that's got to be really, like...
All right, okay.
It's not a problem, but, like, God, that would drive me crazy if I was sitting in it.
Squeak.
Good Lord, sorry.
Squeak.
I'll try to get you a better chair by next time. But, like, yeah, we just kind of on a whim.
I just cannot move. Just don't move.
You can move. It doesn't matter. It's a squeak. But
days?
Just know that the squeak... I need to rewatch that movie. I like Road to El Dorado. Don't even breathe. But don't worry about the squeak chair. It's my fault, like, squeak. Honestly. But we just kind of decided to do this, so it's going to be rough. But who cares? But the thing is that Kevin and I both kind of come from an entertainment background of like live performance. We both have worked. We've done stuff with stage work, radio work. We've done audio dramas. We've done film, and all that squeaking is him It's all him. You're fired.
It's the fact that I'm just now noticing it.
And now it's all you can hear. It's like I pointed out the white Subaru, and now you see a billion white Subarus out there. It's fine.
Anyway, sorry.
But so we we were talking, and we decided we've always made the same excuse over and over and over again of like, oh, we'll do it next time, or we'll plan a time, and we're like, fuck it, we'll just plug everything in, make a mess, sit down, and fucking make a podcast. And so we are. And we don't know what it's called yet. That's going to happen with conceptualism. Ranamore and I originally thought we were going to do The Greatest Show You Never See. That used to be my radio show. I still own the name, and it's a good name. And then there's also like potential like the Crew Cast, because it might be played for the crew. It might be Story Lords, or it might be two bald dudes with mustaches.
Maybe three.
Intense. Ranamore. But if you're listening to this, you're probably a member of the Crew Discord server, so that's the reference, is the Crew, our little community. Unfortunately on Discord, but there's really no other place to go at the moment. There's a lot of
call it a crew-munity.
Crew-munity. It's the fucking crewtastrophe. But so if you're listening to this, you got some ideas for a podcast name if we don't come up with one in the time of recording, because we might, things organically happen, when you're just sitting there talking. So speaking of talking, what we were talking about was we were just kind of discussing plots of various animes that we're watching, and we were also kind of shit talking, or you were, because I hadn't really watched it yet, but I don't think I will. The newest season of Fallout.
Oh yes. I tell you what, Fallout, the TV show Fallout is great if you know nothing of Fallout.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. It is not for me. It is for people that do not know anything about it. Because if you've even played any of the games, or any of the lore, or any of that stuff, you're going to hate it. I mean, season 1's teetering. It's teetering. Like, you can kind of like be like, all right, fine, I'll sweep my expectations on the rug, I'll watch it. But then season two, because they have to go to New Vegas. They could have gone anywhere. They went to New Vegas.
Like, it's weird that you'll do something that's obviously for the fans, to get their attention, but then you like, fuck the fans, because we're just gonna change everything. And like, I guess the theme of this little part is video games in adaptations, because like I have a very similar kind of gripe and response, like to word for word what you said, but about Warcraft, and what it's been doing. So like, yeah, cool. We'll be two old guys bitching about.
Well,
they're ruining our childhood.
Back in my day, we used to say back in my day.
That's one thing, though. I mean, and if you know me, I got some serious ADHD. It's diagnosed finally, but in behavior, and I will bounce from topic to topic and not even realize it. So it's going to happen. So get ready. Buckle up, Buttercup. But I constantly hear people say, "You're ruining my childhood. That ruins my childhood. This ruined my childhood. It's ruining my childhood." I'm like,
it already happened.
Bitch, it's a TV show. It's not your childhood. It's a video game. It's not your childhood. It's a product created, or maybe a piece of art created to be enjoyed by a multitude. It's not your childhood. Just because you've got such a loose grasp on the liquidity of your own memories, and it has to be attached by something you paid money for. That's not. You should quit making that everybody's problem. Because
but just the idea, like, if you could actually go and ruin someone's childhood, can you imagine how much power you could actually have there? Like, that's terrifying if you think about it. Be like, you ruined my childhood. Oh no, the phone's ringing.
That is my fucking therapist. Like, they're calling at the perfect
Put the therapist
time.
On the phone?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. One sec. Here we go. Hello? Sounds perfect. I really appreciate your help.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Now there, boom. Like, you don't stop the recording. We're not leaving the table. No one's getting up from the table. It's dinner time. But we were talking. It ruins the childhood, right?
The childhood, yes.
You've ruined my childhood.
I want the power to go in and ruin your childhood. Let me reach in your brain.
And you said to actually have that power, and I all I could think of was, well, there's some certain files right now that kind of prove it, but we're not gonna get into all that. Right
You're
now.
ruined.
But like, you don't want to have your childhood actually ruined. There's people with childhoods that are ruined, and just because your TV show got shifted to a different demographic Ain't nothing ruined,
Just
man.
remember, those memories are already made.
Right? And you can't go back. You can't go back. World of Warcraft is a great reminder for me because every year or so I get it in my head that I'm going to check it back out, you know, and I'll have my cupcake phase with it where I'm like, oh, wow, I'm back. Look, I remember this. Oh, that reminds me of this. Oh, look at these memories that I haven't accessed in a while. Once that wears off, I'm like, my God, this sucks. And I'm upset and I can't believe I'm paying money for this shit. You can't go back.
The cupcake is empty and the wrapper is soggy.
Right? But I kind of diverted the topic by bitching about Warcraft, but you were talking about
I was
your
in the
opinions.
same vein in that regard.
But I haven't seen the second season. I saw the first season of the Fallout Amazon Prime show, but I haven't seen the second season. I'm a big fan of Walton Goggins, though, so I thought I'd watch it, but honestly, from what I've seen from the plot, I don't know if I'd really enjoy the experience too terribly much.
Now, to be fair, my stop ended right after they showed Legion, or the Caesar's Legion, and what happened to them. So afterwards, that's going to be a little iffy because I haven't watched that, even though I have an idea from the lovely clips that have just been circling around the internet.
Spoilies everywhere.
Everywhere.
Thanks,
You can never
algorithm.
avoid them. Never. Unless you just unplug, which we can't do that.
Turn that
We're
autoplay
here.
off.
But good old Caesar's Legion. So everything that happens in New Vegas, in the actual game, Fallout New Vegas, anything in your choices, we were wondering what the ending state of that game would be, like, canonically, going
Right.
through here.
Because it can be a fluid of a bunch of different outcomes.
And it turns out it is the, like, extreme worst case scenario that you can have, to where,
They
like,
chose-
to where it seems like all of the major powers, they all went to hell. We don't know how they all went to hell, but they all did.
Their pretty faces going to hell.
Like the NCR, Caesar's Legion. Oh my God, they have a civil war with two camps that are sitting side by side with each other. Because the premise is that Caesar, when he died, he labeled his new successor on a piece of paper that's like around his neck, but no one can read.
So they didn't just use what was already there with what was it, Linnaeus?
It was
Joseph
Lanius
Graham?
and Graham. No,
Yeah,
they're
like-
all gone. Like, we don't know what happened to them.
They
Only
had
Caesar's
perfect
dead.
material
But
already.
like, yeah, they did. But like,
Okay.
Lanius, he's not there. We don't know what the fuck happened to him. He's not even mentioned. He's
He never existed. What are
He
you,
never
stupid?
existed.
We'll do power armor, but no, that's too much.
And then, good Lord, the big one is when it was the NCR. Because, for one, they moved Shady Sands. In the original first game, it was not L.A. Shady Sands was out in the middle of the fucking desert. That's what it was. That's why it was called Shady Sands. But, that is the bulwark of, that is the beginning, not bulwark. It's the beginning of the NCR. In the actual, like, games or whatnot.
Like, isn't that an actual place?
Yes.
No, like, why would they do that?
I don't know. But, like... In the game lore, Shady Sands isn't just the NCR. Like, that's not where their, like, total power is. Like, they have the entirety of California.
Yeah, they're established as a full-on, like, electric railroad civilization.
But in the show, after Shady Sands gets nuked, then the NCR just completely dies. In the span of 15 years.
Oh yeah, and they nuked Shady Sands.
That
I
was
forgot
it.
about
But they
that.
didn't nuke any other settlement. It's just Shady Sands. I can't even
Shitty Sands.
Shitty Sands.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
Shitty Sands Fallout. Sands as in SANS.
And then, like, the only NCR Rangers that you see, they're in the show, they're all, like extremely old, PTSD-ridden, like fucks that don't know how to, like, do anything.
Like they had a currency.
Yeah, they did.
You don't have a currency if
They had
you're
a
in
backing.
one town. They were building a railroad with a prison gang, so they had institutionalized prison set up. They had a full army. They had a president. They had currency. They had electricity. They had, I said, a railroad, and yet
All of it did.
it's just
It's all
gone.
Oh, and
Even
also-
though nuking the world didn't stop that civilization from coming out, nuking one town just killed everything. That's logical.
And then we can get over to the Brotherhood. Now, okay, I actually I like the Brotherhood in the games or whatnot, mainly because there's different, like, factions of them or whatnot.
Right.
There was a different tangent between the East Coast Brotherhood and the West Coast one.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And-
yeah, Brother Lions.
Yes, and then over in Fallout 4, when Lyons dies and then it's Maxon that takes over, they're the ones that make the Prydwen, that big old airship
Yeah,
or whatever.
and they're the,
That's
like,
the only
purest.
one that's supposed to be there.
Wait, they put a Prydwen in the show?
In the show, there's multiples.
That's the whole point of the Prydwen, was that it was like this feat of
It was
engineering.
supposed to be the show of like air superiority that only the the East Coast had. Sorry, no.
Yeah,
and
that
because
chapter-
they make that after they basically destroy the Enclave's oil rig and like take the parts from that and make their own ship. That was from what that was
So
from.
basically, they needed some cool footage for the trailer.
Yeah, and somehow the Brotherhood on the east side, even though like going to war with the NCR, which almost wipes the Brotherhood out to where they're like supposed to be like held up in a bunker whatsoever, not doing anything. Somehow they're this massive faction now that they have like their own like huge ass army. That's basically what the NCR was supposed to be, but it's the Brotherhood now, and I believe it's just because Todd Howard wants to have the Brotherhood Enclave fight.
Is Todd Howard involved?
Yes.
In it? How is it that he doesn't know? Well, actually, no. I don't know why I'm asking how, because it was Obsidian.
Yeah,
that
it was
did New
Obsidian that did
Vegas.
that.
It
one.
wasn't Bethesda. Bethesda fucking just put their name on it.
And then it
So-
was I forget who was that did the first two games that built up the lore for it. And
Right.
then Bethesda bought the rights and made 3 and 4. But
And I
Obsidian
bet if he
New
did
Vegas.
play that stuff, like he popped in on writers to be like, I need about 400 hours more content because the world's going to be the size of blah, blah, blah. It just works. Blah, blah, we're going to play it on a toaster.
we
and
need
release it
about
15 times.
16 times the detail.
Right? Just fucking Todd fucking Howard. But like, so I wouldn't be surprised to find out that if he did ever play these games, it was the kind of the way that those game reviewers play a game.
Oh, yeah,
and
to
then
where they
make a
can't make it
reference.
through the
Yeah,
tutorial.
they're like, all right, I've got fucking 30 minutes. So I'm going to play it and then tell everybody how this game is. But, meanwhile, it's the kind of media that you can play for literally decades or like years and still find new stuff or be thinking about like the depth of the storytelling and like implications of little things. Because like you said, the Brotherhood's a big army now. Like that was one of the features or like the struggles that the Brotherhood would deal with was the fact that they were little chapters and they couldn't just recruit just anybody. And then when they did recruit just anybody, it was because they were like in a real bad situation.
Yeah, now they're about to have like a civil war between all the
It's all
Brotherhood family.
Civil War.
I know, like it's just like I don't understand.
Well, it's kind
what
of
your
like
thought
at the end of
process
the
was.
90s, all the movies and all the shows were about the apocalypse. It was either scientific apocalypse with like Deep Impact and Armageddon, or it was biblical apocalypse. So you had like End of Days, and they remake The Omen, and they did Megiddo, and like fucking Left Behind, and it's like, and so now everybody's thinking about Civil War. So it's just like fucking in the ethos, I guess.
The
And
apocalypse already happened. We're past that.
right, yeah, we are. Like we're at the point where what is it, the new 28 Days Later movie of like the zombie is basically a rehabbed human now. I haven't watched anything. but
I haven't
saw
watched that either.
Like I saw a little like a thing, like it was a blurb with a picture. They were talking about rehabbing a zombie, and I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, full circle. That's interesting." But see, that's new.
I'm gonna have to tie that into a later topic if we have that. I'm just gonna say that if I'm be just from the idea where it's like we're rehabbing a zombie, but a zombie is a zombie. How are you gonna rehab a fucking zombie?
I mean, but I have enjoyed. Honestly, I think I only watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. If there were anything else in that franchise, and I only watched 28 Weeks Later. I think I watched them both like once. So like my
am
memories
out
are
of that. I
very
have not
drug
know.
fueled, but I do remember enjoying and being impressed, like especially with the first one because it was kind of like an indie film, right? Honestly, I don't really remember, but it was. That's why they kind of focused inward. Same with like The Walking Dead. My favorite season of The Walking Dead is when they didn't have fucking money and they were on that farm.
Yeah.
Everyone, not everyone, but a vast majority of people disliked that season. That's the season I came in on, and I thought it was a really cool creative choice to like focus on the people and the relationships and the change. This fucking, yeah, they're zombies, but they're a set piece. They're not the character, because they could have been the character if they followed Kirkman's writing, because those zombies were talking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, they were fucking straight up talking. It was weird. And like Marvel Zombies did something similar. Did Kirkman do Marvel Zombies? I don't think so. But like they talked and they were retained their sentience, and that was one of the fun, interesting things about it was that they're like, oh, I'm eating brains because they're delicious, but I remember saving people because I'm Spider-Man, but now I have half a body. You know, it's fun shit. But like, of course, you know, when they produce that as a show, it's this kooky, fun, quirky girl time.
Oh,
not like
go.
fucking hating, not to be like a chauvinist, anti-feminist thing. I'm all for fucking female
it's the
protagonists.
quirky character trope, I think, is the biggest.
Demographic, attract a certain fucking statistic, gotta get the kids involved. They're always cracking jokes, even though the entire setting is super traumatic.
That's one of the biggest things. And like we can follow that into like the sins of writing, at least in my opinion, is that when, depending on your setting, like you just said, like a very traumatic one, if you have a character that's joking a lot, well, then make it seem like there's a reason why they're doing it.
There's got to be a reason. They're not just doing it to play to the audience like Bugs Bunny or some shit.
Like, get a load of this guy right here.
Right? It's like, how are you making casual jokes like it's after school on a Tuesday when your whole family is dead? And everything that you know about the world has been flipped on its side. It's not like just over. It's completely changed. And everyone's actively trying to kill you. And zombies have superpowers too. And there's like a witch in your dreams. But you got these quirky, fun little gags. And you're making little snide asides. And it's all real funny. They're all so quirky. And it's just like, just so fucking sick of that demographic corpo bullshit. Because that's what it's for. It's to attract younger fucking viewers and, you know, potentially the idiots that haven't ever experienced trauma but have money. You know, that's where, you know, the story, like you said, as long as they like give them a reason, like Firefly. The very beginning, it shows Alan Tudyk's character Wash playing with toys.
Yep.
And being like, you know, like, oh, we'll call this land and stuff. But like,
what you call it? Your grave.
Right? Oh. But like just showing and not telling, you can see that he's by himself on the fucking, in the pilot's chair while they're out doing the crazy stuff. But then like 7 episodes later, he's getting tortured and they're making jokes, but it's obvious they're making the jokes first because it's fun, but also so they don't break in the torture. Like, you know, they're actively responding to the environment that they're in as characters, and they're following, like, I mean, but
it's not the, hey guys, look at all of our friends dying, I'm gonna crack a witty one-liner.
It's like they've got a quota they've got to fucking fill.
Well, I really think it really started after the Marvel Avengers thing, because first off, like, if you actually go back and watch it, like, the witty banter, like, it's fun.
Sure.
But, like, the snarky thing, I call it the Stark snark. Because Stark was supposed to be the one that does that, and everyone else can respond. But then in Avengers 2, everyone was Tony Stark. And you see that get ramped up even more.
I
so.
remember how special it was that Avengers was happening.
Yeah, it was fun, because we had so many superhero movies just everywhere. We wanted all of them to get in.
And they were all, like, that had never happened before.
No, it was so cool.
And also, like, younger viewers, because, I mean, shit, I was in college when that stuff started up, and that was...
And it didn't get a lot of funding either. That was the biggest thing,
right?
Too. Like, after
like
that, then it just kept getting, like, churned out because it made so much money.
But, like, a lot of the younger viewers, because, you know, it's been almost 20 years at this franchise, the cinematic universe.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, some of the viewers, they weren't alive when it started, and, like... Y'all don't know how crazy it was that Robert Downey Jr. got fucking cast. Like, first of all, it was kind of perfect because Tony Stark was a mess of a human being. Like, that was how he was known, was a total mess of a human being. And Robert Downey Jr. was a fucking animal, man. Like, he was a fucking animal, dude. I'm talking fucking having to get dragged out of the bushes butt-ass naked at like 11 a.m. after a fucking 3-week bender by his agent because he's got to get on set for this fucking indie film that he managed to land like the fucking all of 2 that he was doing that year. You know, while he was an animal. I don't even remember much about, like, I mean, there was a couple movies that I saw.
Did Tropic Thunder come out before the Avengers?
Oh, I don't think so. Because, like, I only started really seeing him It was the Marvel stuff, then Tropic Thunder happened, and he did the blackface, and then he did Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah,
that was when I started seeing him in mainstream, like kind of regularly. But like now, he's like one of the highest paid and automatically highest respected actors in Hollywood. There was a time when he was not. Like at all
also,
respected.
He was smart enough to ask for a percentage for all the sales when the Marvel thing just kicked off. The smart move right there.
Whoever, like, if he hired the publicist or whoever's running his publicity, like, knows what the fuck they're doing, and he follows his instructions and shit. So, like, yeah, no, he's doing a good job. Like, he's great. He's earned everything that he's got. But there was a time. So those of you that feel like, you know, you might just be in your early Downey Jr. phase. You know, don't worry about it.
It's like another one. What was it? It was Charlie Sheen. It's like, I'm hot. I'm definitely hot on something. It's called Charlie Sheen.
I mean, he's talk about some Nick Cage energy. Like, I mean, there's a very specific. What was the name of Nick Cage's movie? The Unbearable Weight of Incredible Talent, or something like that. It was with Pedro Pascal. It was like a biopic. The Unbearable Weight of Incredible Talent. And here's a thing, fun podcast listeners. We have a lot to say. I mean, I can't speak for Kevin, but we got a lot to say without very many actual facts.
Oh, it's true. Take all of this, not even with a grain of salt. Just pretend the jar's empty.
I mean, I've always thought I'd make a pretty good politician, lawyer, or preacher, because I can, like, and no shade, but like I can fucking bullshit without having.
Especially since they've introduced there's a time limit for everything you talk. All you have to do is be like, all right, stopwatch. All right, we're gonna keep on talking.
I need 30 minutes, please, and I just need you to not actually commit to anything.
All right, thank you very much. No questions. Bye.
Fucking boo, blood. Yeah. I can talk to you for an hour and tell you nothing.
I'm gonna go do some blow in my private jet.
I'm gonna go and have some Pop Rocks and Coke. Metalocalypse, printed small. So we to kind of round it back, when we were discussing the fallout of Fallout Season 2, and we were kind of talking about like the corporate oversight, like of writing, and how.
Don't you tell us about that World of Warcraft?
Well, I mean, if you look at it from a perspective of we need to make profit, and that's the fucking thing, then everything that they do makes perfect fucking sense. It's safe and it works, and it's packageable, marketable. It gets those numbers and it pumps them up. Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump them up
for a story-based thing.
If your priority is actual, like, and not even like to be like actual art, but like what art is, and
also just to know how like renowned their story was at like Blizzard when they made. You're talking to a dude. For me, Kevin, I have never played any of the World of Warcraft things, yet I know like a crap ton about Arthas, like the Death Knight or whatnot, because he's so damn iconic. And it's like, it's so cool.
His ass so early.
You guys should have ended it there. Arthas should have been your final villain.
Just make a new game.
Yeah, just make something new.
Fucking make something new instead of 25 years.
Why would we do that when we already have the properties and all the IPs right here, where we could just keep churning it out and make more money?
Because Warcraft, even though it is a fucking reaction to a canceled Warhammer project contract, which I don't know the exact specifics, but from what I understand,
was that StarCraft though?
It might have been StarCraft, it might have been Warcraft, it might have been both of them, but maybe I know both. That Blizzard was contracted by Games Workshop.
Actually, both of them might have been the thing.
And they like kind of reneged, and so they ended up running with what they had. I don't know how factual that is, but we've already established, you want facts, man.
Grain of salt, it's gone.
But when Warcraft has been involved in my life forever, because like there was a time when a lot of my life, we were living out in a very desolate kind of area, like a very low population rural area.
Yeah. And population like 15 maybe.
Right. Like I was, when I was like 8, 9, my dad was playing Warcraft 2 and I'd watch him play. And then Warcraft 3 came out when I was like in junior high. And I had that, and I had StarCraft, and I played all those, and I would play the shit out of them, but I also would read the shit out of their manuals, because this is back when game manuals...
when they used to come with the...
They were like tomes of lore, dude. Chapters and chapters and chapters with illustrations and just so much. That was like my
hardly
reading
ever
material.
do physical copies anymore, if anything.
No, they don't do that anymore. But I remember those were the first stories. They weren't like the first ones I was exposed to, but they were the first ones that stuck with me of like character, like what? Like the fall of Arthas and the fall of King Tyrannus was a big like, whoa moment for my little brain. And like in StarCraft, the abandonment of Sarah Kerrigan and how she became Kerrigan Queen of Blades and the Zerg Queen, and also influenced when I, gave myself a name, Jack Kerrigan. There was very much influenced by my childhood connection to StarCraft. But so when World of Warcraft hit the scene in 2004, I was a junior in high school, I think, but like I had played the shit out of Warcraft 3 at this point because it was like one of 3 games that I owned, and I was just playing it over and over and over again, playing the shit out of it. And then I like to make animated music videos, AMVs, but the only files I had were the Blizzard cinematics because they literally just put them in a folder in your install and they were just fucking movie files, and so you could put them in Windows Movie Maker. And so I was constantly just Warcraft videos, like just of stuff just because it was fun. But when World of Warcraft came out, it blew my mind because you were always top down and you were always like seeing this big picture, but now you had this opportunity to be just an individual in there, and not like, nowadays it's different. Like I'm trying to think of like the order of how to present my thought here, because when I first played World of Warcraft, I caught on.
You got to make your own dude too. That was the thing.
You made your own dude. I was a big role player. I kind of stumbled into that. But the thing is you were a nobody. Mm-hmm. You were just some guy. And like they say at the beginning of the human, if you make a fucking human, if you're fucking boring, but like they'll say like the armies are away. And it stays to citizens like you to step up and protect the homeland, and then you start level 1 and you do your thing and you progressively level up and you interact with iconic characters, but like in a realistic kind of way. Like, and there are some in-game bits where these characters might remember your name, but they mostly remember you by a title, like a rank. And you were basically just one of thousands or hundreds of thousands of just people in the Warcraft world. In Azeroth, which, funny, Azeroth used to be the name of Stormwind's kingdom, but then they wanted it to be the name of the world, so they just called Stormwind. But before, Stormwind was the capital of Azeroth, and you had Lordaeron and Azeroth. But so now, fast forward, you're the fucking main character. Like,
there's
everyone knows you.
I feel like it's more. I don't know if this is out of turn. I feel like always wanting to be the main character is a little bit on the childish end, mainly because like
it's limiting.
It's very limiting, but it's the little power fantasy that sure every little kid wants to have. Be like, I do this and you're dead, yay, whatever. Because I don't want to be like that. I mean, the older that I get, I want to be, like you said, I want to be the nobody that has to work their way to like making a name for themselves in that regard.
You say work your way, because like I've been revisiting the old stuff with the Turtle WoW private server that Blizzard keeps trying to shut down, but they haven't yet. But they used the old 1.12 client, which was right before the Burning Crusade, the first expansion, came out. That was about the time that I joined the game. Because I went to college in 2006, got my first jazz check, and I bought a TV, and I bought World of Warcraft. and then Burning Crusade came out like a couple months after I had gotten on, and I bought Burning Crusade day of launch with all the discs, and oh god, from Walmart. But and they had the battle chest. Oh, so dumb. But revisiting it with this private server that's, it's got extra stuff because it's like vanilla plus. So they put in custom stuff. Very well done. But I'm revisiting the old systems, not like the retail classic, because they did a whole Coca-Cola thing where they did WoW Classic. But it's not, it's Seasons of Discovery. So they still tweak a bunch of stuff and they fix a bunch of stuff.
It's not, it's definitely not the same
experience. But it's super slow, and it reminded me of a lot of when I was playing it. So like when you did achieve something, you got an actual sincere dopamine hit, and it was a journey, like, and things happened during the journey. Because to put it in perspective, in my when I was playing it, there was a spring break that I spent each day of that spring break getting up at 5 a.m. and I wouldn't go to bed till like near midnight. And I was grinding on Warcraft the entire time so I could get a mount at level 40. And I think I started that grind at level 25. And I was like, boom, and to get that mount. And I finally got that mount. And I'd had this character forever. And my leveling was very slow because I was always role playing instead of playing the game. I was sitting there just typing out to people and shit.
Fun fact, not everything needs to be efficient, by the way.
But now I pop on retail, every once in a while, and I check it out. And not only...
Here's your new mount.
They level? Throw you in a fucking, like a starter experience that gives you super awesome fucking armor, gets you to level 10 within like 30 minutes, and you get a mount from level 10. Like, just right there. They're like, here it is. And like, in this one, like I play a druid, you want to get your bear form, you got to get to level 10, but then you go on a spirit quest and you got to go and do all these fucking things, and then you get the bear form. Now you get that at like level 2, they just give it to you.
Yeah.
Like you have to pay for training. You got to go seek out the certain trainers, and it's expensive, and it gives you a reason to play the game. And like now everything is handed to you. And like, it was overwhelming, honestly. If I didn't have, add-ons that kind of like made a lot of it more clear, I would have been like, well, this is fucking just dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Because what's the fucking point of any of this? Because if you don't play it perfect, all the randos fucking scream at you. The people that are role playing are a bunch of kids that they're doing emo vampire devil boy or furry, like, the
two demographics.
God damn it! Like, I found some good communities while I was there, but I had to work for that shit. I played a goblin, but I had some fun though, because they had goblins, and goblins are very greedy, but you could be a priest. So I had just got done watching the Righteous Gemstones, that Danny McBride, Walton Goggins show about a mega church and a family that runs it. So I made a mega church pastor. And he was Reverend Goodlove, and he's like, come to the light, my children, and donate. And he would I'd have him preach out in front of the city,
nice.
But he's mostly just grifting, trying to get money. So that was kind of fun, but it's just completely unrecognizable. And mechanically, I'm not a fucking dev, and I haven't been playing straight for 20 fucking years, but I did, I'll play for like a week, and I'll enjoy the hell out of it because of nostalgia trip. But then, as the month progresses, I never get past 1 month,
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is dumb. I'll make a shit ton of characters, and then after I'm done making characters, then I'm just like, I don't want to play.
I have that too, to where I understand in some MMOs, the end grind is to get the legendary gear or whatnot. While that is cool in concept for me, I get bored if it gets a little too much.
Yeah.
But also I have a very bad case of alt-itis, where I like to make characters over and over, because that's the biggest fun for me, is to figure out a character.
How many Baldur's Gate 3 campaigns have we started?
We have about, well, at least on mine, I think I almost now have 400 hours in that game, and I've never gotten to Act 3.
Yeah, I've never gotten to the halfway point of Act 2, and I only got to Act 2 in one character. And just our co-op games, we've got 4 of them.
And we've restarted that at least 3 times.
Jesus, because it's more fun.
It's more fun for the character.
The new character, yeah.
Because then those are just, they're I love the characters, yeah.
And yeah, the whole birthing them and thinking about their, just everything about them, and how the possibilities are endless, because, you haven't put things in stone. But then once you've ground it out for a while, and now this is what it is, if you're us, you get a little bored.
Yeah.
And you want something new.
I really do not understand the people that can stick. Okay, cool. It's when people like to quote unquote brag about them having 1,000 hours into a game. I'm just sitting there how did you play it for that long? Because I'm just like, I would get bored.
I
after
don't
so many
enjoy
things.
doing the same thing over
Yeah.
and over again.
I don't. Like grinding, the idea of grinding, well, going back to your one thing, to make a character stronger, I agree with that, but like I probably won't do that because I hate grinding.
Well,
I hate the idea of it.
Like there is the merit to like, you only got so much time in a day.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also just
you
not
want to play a game
stuck at home all day, every day. There's.
But it's just like they still charge you $15 a month, and they still release so many expansions. I did the math. Like if you've been a player since the beginning, you've spent over $6,000 minimum, like just to play the game. Just to play the game. Just think about what I mean. If you're from a middle to upper class, $6,000 probably isn't that much. But like
if you just think about it in retrospect, though, like even though you're just like that's a lot of money, probably could have gone. Somewhere else.
When the most money you've ever made is like 17 grand a year.
Yeah.
Like then it's a fucking lot. Shit.
Take honestly, that chunk right out. Yeah.
It blows my mind, but honestly, then I'll compare it to like when I had a cigarette, a habit, or when I was smoking a lot of weed and doing drugs. It's like, well, I found the money for that too, But they still charge you that subscription thing, and people still pay it. They still have the festivals, they still have the things, and the cosplays and all this. But it's like it's absolutely unrecognizable to what it was before, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because things change, things grow, but. The fucking guy, Metzen, he said, I regret having war in the name of Warcraft. And I was like, dude, you're the source of so much of this bullshit. Like, I know that your name's on a lot of the crap, but like, I don't see Samwise Diddler anywhere. Or was it Didier? But Sam, where's Sam? Like, shit, I remember all of his drawings, too. And yes, you're the voice of a lot of iconic characters that I really enjoy. I love Thrall, but fuck, y'all killed Cairn. For Christ's sakes. But no,
I don't know who any of these people are.
No, Cairn was the big old cow. The Tauren are cow people. Oh. But he was a character in Warcraft 3, and he's like the boss of them. And so, like,
when they kill him off?
Well, in like the 4th expansion, the new war chief, Garrosh Hellscream, which was an interesting character, I will say, because it was Grom Hellscream's kid. But from Draenor, it gets all fucking convoluted as hell.
They have like a little time jump.
They
or whatever.
did that later with that character.
Okay.
He got with a time dragon, and he's like, I'm going to go back in time because the writers don't have any more ideas, and they already peaked, and so we're just going to rehash a bunch of Warcraft 2 stuff. And have a badass soundtrack, though.
I will say another hot take: unless you're show is or like story is revolved around time travel, if you throw that into your game, you've already run out of ideas because you're trying to figure out like, all right, but time travel, you sure? Let's go do this. Whatever.
In their defense, a lot of the crazy cosmic stuff they did mention, like there were hints of it in the early first game.
So they were building up to it.
It could be argued they were.
Okay.
I don't think so because like same realm of cosmic horror, like it's a bunch of open-ended stuff, and now they're answering all of those questions.
Well, I also just don't like time travel because for one, like there's no good explanation for it. It doesn't make any sense, and like in my mind, my version of time travel, like it doesn't really fucking matter,
right?
Mainly because like unless you're going with multiverse theory, like let's say if I were to go jump back in time and do something, it wouldn't affect anything because I've already fucking done it.
Well, that's the thing. Rick Sanchez says it's hack. That's why they don't do it. But yeah, there's time dragons. And they did have those like at the beginning so you could go and relive iconic things. And they had you do like when Thrall was in internment, which was in a book. It was before the Warcraft 3 game. And then they let you go and join Arthas when he killed all the people in Stratholme.
Okay, now that would actually be
They let
fun.
you go to Mount Highjaw, which was the big climax battle in Warcraft 3. But like these are things you weren't able to do in this concept. And which, the thing is, and like I've just turned into a Warcraft rant. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
You fucking mentioned I just
I had
go.
my Fallout rant earlier.
But like you said, Arthas, big iconic fucking guy. So they have their first expansion, and that's Illidan, the demon boy. You go and you fight demons. Cool. And then they're like, boom, another expansion, Arthas time, Frozen Throne. Boom. We're gonna just boom. Up until that point, he was this hinted at thing. Like you could see the aspects of his influence, but he was still unreachable in this whole other place. And then when that expansion came out, super hype. Like it was super cool. But I remember like once the last raid patch came out, I remember being really bummed out. Like when we finally killed Arthas.
Well, because that is it's the climatic thing. Like
Right.
it's one of those things where you don't want the story to end, but like a good story has to.
Right.
Like if you keep it running on, then you turn into Marvel.
And now at the time, right? At the time, it was okay. It was a pretty nice ending. It was okay. And so from there, you go Kung Fu Panda. No. It was Cataclysm. Because at this point, the game had been out for like 5-6 years, like not even that fucking long. And they're like, we're going to revamp the map. So another big bad that's been mentioned in lore and like hinted at was this big dragon called Deathwing, who was like this huge thing. So they made an expansion where the whole premise was he woke up and his maiden flight was kind of like Guild Wars 2, where that dragon affected everything.
I finally figured out how to say that damn thing's name. Sorry, Guild Wars 2, that's another one we'll do. The dragon is called Kralkatoric. You wouldn't understand that if you looked at the reading. But anyways,
I get plagued by that so often. But like, so he affects the whole world, so they can update all the zones, you know, and you put it through the new engine, put new quests in some places, and change it all. And so that was that, and you're fighting that dragon, you know, and that was cool. You know, it wasn't quite as, you know, they introduced goblins, and then they bring in the fucking Worgen, which are werewolf people, which was introduced in the original World of Warcraft. It was, you know, they were present and that storyline was going on, but it also was very Twilight coded. Like, but
was it coming out during the time of Twilight too?
I don't remember, but it feels like it was. Like, but,
probably.
So then after that, Kung Fu Panda.
I do remember that because I only remember like the commercials for that over every single time.
And in their defense, Pandaren were a joke cameo character in the Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 games. You could hire a mercenary that was a Pandaren brewmaster in the expansion Frozen Throne. These games, just like the MMO, the strategy games all had one expansion with them. Like StarCraft had Brood War, Warcraft 3 had Frozen Throne. And in that, they would add new units, and one of the units was a Pandaren Brewmaster hero class, you know, so they were there, you know, and the story was not bad. It was actually really cool. They did some cool stuff with that Garrosh character who had taken over the Horde from Thrall during the fight with the Lich King. And, but... you know, and he was like a big warmonger, and he's very kill happy, and he ends up, there's like this darkness spirit that feeds on negative emotions, you know, and it fucking, but Kung Fu Panda is fucking Kung Fu Panda. But it wasn't bad, it was okay. But at the end of that, Garrosh gets deposed, and they do another expansion, because we're just like fucking 10, 12 expansions. The next one, I think, was Legion.
Like, yeah, we have to like layer them all out too, because like I actually want to figure out which one comes after what too.
Legion was pretty dope, I gotta say. Legion was like,
because that's when the Burning Legion's showing back up, right? Yeah,
the Burning Crusade. The Burning Crusade was the expansion. Yeah, the Burning Legion. I'm sorry. Which you didn't defeat them in that expansion. You just kind of stopped Illidan's plan, and you killed Illidan. Who was this ancient elf demon boy, very, very cool character. But so Legion was kind of like peak, and like mechanically speaking too, it was better than Wrath, which was the Lich King one. And the story was pretty cool. They introduced demon hunters as a hero class, like the Death Knights they introduced before. The Death Knights were already fucking iffy. The Demon Hunters were worse. Like, I played a Demon Hunter.
How edgy can you get? Let's see.
Like, the whole thing about these guys is specifically to fight the Burning Legion. They mutilate themselves, blind themselves, they pull their eyes out, and drink demon blood to take on demon powers, and they eat a demon and have demons living inside of them so they can go specifically kill the Burning Legion. Well, at the end of Legion, we fucking take out the Burning Legion, like nullify them.
They fall into the same category as like, why are there Death Knights around? If
right,
Arthas
and they're
is
still
dead,
here.
why are the Demon Hunters still here if the Legion's gone?
So like that's how I role played my guy. I was like, he's fucking dying slowly, so he's a PTSD riddled, like drug addicted alcoholic veteran of this war. But like the alcohol he's drinking is basically like engine oil, and shit, because he's trying to kill himself because there's no point for him, and there's still a demon in there. Like you don't just get rid of it and I'm okay. Like they're still demon hunters, they just have no point. But that story was really cool, very cinematic, really cool stuff, lots of cool raids. But then after that was Warlords of Draenor, which is when Garrosh Hellscream at the end, he was held accountable at the end of the Kung Fu Panda thing, but that's how I'll refer to it. It's Mr. Pandaria, but it's Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
And so he like gets whisked away with the time dragon, and he's like, I'm gonna go to another planet, but also back in time, and I'm gonna stop the orcs from, because in orc lore they were shamanistic people, but then the Burning Legion character Manaroth, the demon, came and corrupted them with Gul'dan and
made them green.
He made them drink their blood, so they turned green and they became slaves to the Legion until they freed themselves, as in Warcraft 3. So he goes back in time to stop that. And on paper, it seems pretty cool.
In practice.
And on the fucking intro cinematic, it's pretty fucking cool. You'll notice my voice has changed because I'm speaking fucking facetiously. Because it's stupid as hell. Like, the music was awesome, I gotta say. And the intro quest, like, amusement ride, where you're kind of, like, forced into this, like, chain of events, and you're following around a character. They're all voiced. The music's dope. Big fucking fight. And it's all like big deal, and they're rehashing all these characters that died in Warcraft 2 and Gul'dan. I got the whole fucking order wrong because Legion came after this. Legion came after this because Gul'dan got introduced in Warlords of Draenor. I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, to be fair, there's a lot of them.
Gul'dan was the primary antagonist in Warcraft 2. He was a warlock, and this is why Legion was so good. Because they had the Mist of Pandaria. I need to honestly just pull up the fucking timeline so I can get this right. But and then they had the Warlords of Draenor, or Draenor, however you want to pronounce it. But let me see, Warcraft expansions, because I can't fucking keep them in order. And that introduced Gul'dan because he goes back in time and the guy never fucking gets killed. All right, cool. I'm right. And then following that, so you go and you kill all the fucking guys that everyone killed back in Warcraft 2, because it's the new horde, the Iron Horde, the non-demonic horde. But the Shadow Council still exists, and that's Gul'dan, and he's very demon adjacent. So they take that, and you beat it to win the fight. They stop the Iron Horde. They shut the portal, and so Garrosh is dead. And then they do Legion, which all the stuff that I talked about, but the only reason they were able to do that is because Gul'dan was back fucking around, and they did a really good job, like using him as an antagonist. The first fucking thing that you do in Legion is this co-op dual faction dungeon quest, where you queue up and you go, and the Horde are on one side of this ravine doing stuff. You're both basically doing the same thing, but you can see like the Alliance on the other side with all their big heroes and all the players, doing that thing. I played it after the fact. I can only imagine how cool it was when it released, when there was actually like more than 2 people in the fucking thing. But so you go and you do it. And in Wrath of the Lich King, there was a guy introduced, he wasn't introduced, but a guy made very popular, a paladin named Tyrion Fordring, who was like super powerful, and he was like the big rallying figure in taking down Arthas.
I was about to say, he was
He was a very important guy. In Legion, at the very beginning of this, you go and you fight, you do the beachhead, like, we're going to fucking stop, the demons are back, and we're going to stop them right here. And you go, and there's Gul'dan, you get to Gul'dan, and he's got Tyrion Fordring, and he just ices him right there with a giant demon, just like that, and he screams, and it's a traumatic kind of death, like, it's not heroic and stuff, like, he's like, the light will protect me, and he fucking puts a paladin protection around him, and then it just like gets burned away, and then he just dies, like, in screaming in agony. And if you do a paladin quest later, you get to like go and get his fucking body back and shit. But they do a bunch of class specific quest chains. So if you're a warrior, you get this whole storyline. If you're
that's
a priest,
fun.
the whole storyline, there was all these things with iconic weapons and shit. It was really interesting. It was really fun. A lot of people liked it. I liked it. I didn't play it when it was out, but when I went and revisited it, it was really cool. The Demon Hunters were fun, but afterwards, bleh. So that all happens. Where do you go from there? Battle for Azeroth. That's the next one. Oh, dude, we still got like 4 more to go.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But would you say Battle for... Oh, okay, wait, no. Never mind. Keep going.
No, now it's going... Because now the weird choices are happening. So they're trying to bring back the vibe of original Warcraft and Horde versus Alliance. Like, we've taken out the Legion. Up to this point, that is literally the big bad, because the reason the Ice King exists, the Ice King. I'm the Ice King, the Lich King. Can you imagine Arthas the Ice King? Oh, here we go. That'll be a fun matchup. Let's fucking put the Ice King in there. He's got Frostborn. It's like, Frostborn Hungers, Gunther. You fucking Jesus Christ. Gunther, my son. But, so... it's the Burning Legion was the one that made him, so like you've taken them out. What's big bad? So they're going back to form, but
quote unquote, yeah.
The fucking Horde doesn't have a war chief because Vol'jin, the troll character, deep cut, who was introduced in Warcraft 3 and just kind of was a side character for a long time, he becomes the war chief, and at the beginning of Legion gets fucked. At the very beginning, he's dead. Just like the king at the very beginning. I forgot everybody died.
Yes, they're raising the stakes, basically.
Yeah, they
all these
killed
fun
the
people,
king.
they're all dead.
All these badasses, like Tyrion Fordring wasn't the only one that died. They also killed the king. They killed the war chief. Everybody's dying. And Sylvanas Windrunner, the undead banshee queen of the Forsaken, who are a sect of undead that got freed from the Lich King. She's so convoluted, guys.
Yeah.
But she was a really cool character. All up to this point. And like in Legion, she was really cool because she was like, everybody's like, why the fuck is she the war chief? And she's like, why the fuck am I the war chief? Like, but then she steps into it. She has some really cool moments and shit. And when Battle for Azeroth was introduced, there was this whole siege that happened at the Undercity, which was the undead's capital place. The Alliance like has this whole a battle and pre-patch. And then they have this cinematic to kind of like conclude it. And in it, it's really dope. Like they got Sourfang in there. They've got Anduin. They do all this fucking shit. And Sylvanas does some dark banshee shit and goes for the Horde and like rallies everything. And it's like super dope. All the fucking old school nerds are like, yeah, for the Horde. Because all the cool people were Horde. Okay. All the cool people. And the coolest people were undead. But
sorry, I'm just gonna be my human fighter male.
I'm
gonna beat everybody. I'm gonna beat everybody.
Boo! Guy, you at least be a blood elf chick and be naked and sell sex for game gold.
I'm a normal.
Go to Goldshire, like Jesus Christ. But so Battle for Azeroth, it's fun. It's slipping. Because it doesn't really know where it's going.
Well, it follows the pattern of because Legion was probably this is supposed to be the peak.
It has to go down.
Yeah,
right?
Because you ran out. You've already killed your big bads. You've already did that. Now, where do you go from here? Unless you want to be like, oh, but we're going to go back in time. There's a more ancient creature that's doing this.
And this is where Sylvanas starts doing weird shit. They explain it later, but she burns down the night elf tree, which is an island. The tree is their island with their capital city. It's this big fucking tree. She burns it down and displaces all the night elves, makes them all refugees and shit. And it's like this big thing because the Horde and the Alliance, while they were fighting, they were still kind of respectful rivals, and that was a full-on genocide, and nobody knew why she did it. And she was kind of crazy with power and shit. And it was a big deal. And everybody, myself included, was like, why the fuck? What the fuck? Maybe this is going somewhere. And it didn't. It just went to the next expansion. If Legion was the top, this next one is the bottom.
Is it Shadowfell?
Shadowlands.
Shadowlands, yay.
Where they go to heaven and hell and see all the ghosts but everything was actually a machination of this bad guy we just made up.
Yeah, the only reason I know a little bit about this is because I know what happens to Arthas. And
they retcon 20 years of lore so they can prop up this new bad guy they just created.
For one expansion.
And they change everything. They change everything that was cool about the Dreadlords. They change everything that was cool about Sylvanas. They change everything that was cool about the Lich King. Like they just changed it all to make it fit this stupid thing that no one asked for. No, like the coolest thing that came out of this, in my opinion, was the art. Like the world design of the goth kid land, where everything's a vampire stuff. That was cool. I was an emo kid. Like I was like, yeah, cool, sweet, I can be a goth kid. You know, but like it was nothing but demographic attraction. So the backlash was insane. They come out with Dragonflight. You know, you go and you do the thing, and Sylvanas is like, I was being controlled by this bad guy that no one's ever heard of and was just created last month, was actually responsible for every major thing that ever happened in Warcraft ever. Like literally. It was all him. And so she's now in hell seeking penance because she went crazy because of his influence. She wasn't actually a crazy, complicated character. She was being controlled.
I hate that cop out, especially when you're like, oh, you don't know you're being controlled. Well, that's a cop. Out. You're copping out.
And also made role-playing like impossible, because it's like, how do you play a normal person when you're just casually going to the afterlife? You know, just back and forth.
That's another thing, is another writing sin we can get onto. I know I say writing sin even though we're just talking about
it. It is writing sin because role players would act like it never happened.
I do not like it when people make it to where death is not a permanent thing, because then what is the point? If everyone can be, which that's where like Dragon Ball had that problem.
I'm like, how big can you go?
Yeah, that's the thing. It goes back to like, all right, so how big are you gonna make it again? Like, and that's where like also where when they just throw in a new villain, but when they're like, oh, but this is actually a more ancient thing, when they have to keep going back in time to make something like more of a prevalent. Like, okay, so then you're just like, so when is it gonna be the thing? When is it going to
happen now?
Oh, well, you really didn't see that. Oh, we put a little, like, like a pine cone right here, and you knock that over. Oh, that awoke the big bad.
And we're going to totally pretend that the actually interesting continuation never happened. Fuck you, GT fans.
And also, I'm just going to point, I know you went on to Dragonflight, but I'm going to point out what they did to Arthas in Shadowlands, because it's a very similar thing about how I feel about the Fallout series.
Yeah, right? They just killed it. They castrated it.
If anyone doesn't know, when they finally get to Arthas, he becomes nothing more than just a wisp, a ball of energy that just disappears, because his soul has been completely like destroyed to the point where that's the only thing left of him. And that was a big old like fuck you to everybody. Be like, oh, you want to bring back Arthas? This is him. Oh, now he's gone. Fuck you, he's
Daddy.
Not coming back. Bye.
And they totally ignored like what was presented in this really awesome book that I suddenly can't remember the title of, where when he first joins the Lich King, like he merges with him after the Frozen Throne, the Warcraft 3 expansion, they write this book where it's in his head. And it's like him, Ner'zhul, who is an old orc that you fight in Warlords of Draenor. He got killed and made into the Lich King after pissing off the Burning Legion and breaking Draenor. And is the reason Draenor got all fucky in the portals and stuff. That was Ner'zhul. And so the Lich King was an orc. So in Arthas' head, you've got Arthas, the paladin kid that you know, and then you got this old orc, and then this little boy. Like, and Paladin Arthas isn't really Paladin Arthas. He's like modern Arthas. He's contemporary. He's this kind of like vengeful dude. The little boy is supposed to be his last bit of innocence. I don't remember if they used any of that shit, but I feel
probably not. This is the first I'm ever hearing.
I want to give them credit and say that they did. Like the boy shows up somewhere, but like there was so much they could have done.
They could have, but this is also where we can also point into this where it might be the same like company name. It's never the same people.
Well, it's Microsoft now.
Yeah.
They bought them.
So there's that. Like where,
but Chris Metz is involved.
In what way? That's the thing.
He does the voices and he fucking says stupid shit like, "I wish we never called it Warcraft." Go play, make more 10th level. He had a band. Elite, now it's called Elite Level Tauren Chieftain. But originally Warcraft 3, he made a gag song with it, and the highest level you could be was 10th level, so it was 10th level Tauren Chieftain. And then when they showed up in Warcraft, it was 60th level Tauren Chieftain. Then it was 70th level Tauren Chieftain. But like they made a couple fun songs back a long time ago. Like, they haven't done anything in years because most of those devs have been fired.
Yep.
But like, they would play at the fucking cons and everything. But that was also what Metzen was doing. And Metzen was like the face of a nation. Kind of goofy time. But like, we're finding out that he's actually kind of a bit of a fucking dickhead. Okay, but I don't care. I'm not here.
Sorry,
I
know.
But so Shadowlands, and like I said, role players, writing sins, what you had mentioned. If you're role playing with a lot of the Warcraft, whatever, still actually are there, actual serious role players that aren't fucking emo kids and furries, but they act like Shadowlands never happened because you can't reconcile that shit and have a character.
Well, you can't, because then you're like, oh,
you're going to be a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the game forces you to be a Mary Sue. For those of you laymen that don't know what a Mary Sue is a writing sin where your character is unreasonably overpowered, unreasonably connected to main characters of whatever
everybody
thing.
likes them too.
Yeah, and everyone
Even
likes
the
them.
villains.
They don't have any flaws. They are always victorious, and they're the most important.
Also, a good thing to point out is while they try to make it look like they went and tried to earn their powers, they never do.
Nope,
they just have them.
And like, so like, there were certain rules. Like, you could have had an encounter with a major character that influenced your guy. Like, like maybe you served in Arthas's regiment at the time of the culling of Stratholme, and it changed you forever. Cool. That's a connection to a main character that you're not a Mary Sue. But you're Arthas's long lost stepson.
Yeah.
Or you've got the power. I've got the power to do anything, but only whenever I want. Like, you know what I mean? That.
Oh God, yeah. I love that phrase. I have the power to do anything, but only
whenever I want. Yeah, they set it out great. That's a Mary Sue, and you can't roleplay with what Blizzard presented as the main narrative, and then following that, after that, there was another. They tried to bring it back with Dragonflight. They were like, it's a return to form. They added flying. How I Trained Your Dragon or whatever.
Also, actually, I was going to point out during that thing, but also when Guild Wars 2 had their sky scales, because they didn't call them dragons, but that's when
pay attention.
They were following each other. Which, oh my God, I could have gone back to that one thing where you talk about having to grind for something, and now people just get it. Very side tangent before we get on.
No, it's fine.
Sky scale literally takes you like 2 months to actually get beforehand. Like when I had to do it,
real achievement.
Yeah, it was a real achievement. And then a couple expansions later, they just give you one. And I was like, well, they try to make it to where you're like, well, if you want to master it, you still got to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't need to. You just have it. And I was like, okay, that was my
like, what's the point of playing the game? Like, there's no goals, there's no rewards. It's just,
yeah,
I mean,
it was just like,
it's an allowance.
I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
It's not a paycheck, it's an allowance.
All of my work has been for naught.
Right, and that's also the big FU to like, they're like, but you have the memories,
Fuck your memories.
It's like, fuck you, man. I'm not playing your game now. You made it to where it's pointless. But so like, you're a dragon in this thing, and they made little dragon people. And they made a new class for the dragon people. And the dragon people have always existed. They were just asleep. And now they're awake.
Fuck you. Sorry.
And the dragon people can fly at will. And everyone can fly, but you have mouths.
They were always
here.
Here.
Fly. We all fly. And
where
we
were
fly
you
fast.
during the Legion?
Seriously. Like, but they go and they rehash some open-ended stuff from Cataclysm. And it's pretty cool. And they set up for the War Within, which is the latest expansion, which takes you inside the planet to fight the darkness.
Which, also, in that regard, they shot themselves in the foot because they really wanted to do the heaven hell thing, like, immediately. Even though in story beats or whatever, going into the planet to fight whatever is on a lower scale than going into an afterlife where everyone dies, fighting literal gods and demons. I'm just saying, like, you if you're gonna do these stupid ass... No, it's all right.
Well, and the new race, the new
things.
playable race, they're constructs that are from the dawn of the world.
So if they were from
but they've never encountered the rest of the world, and it explains everything and the crucified flesh. But like, the thing is some of the reasons a lot of this shit was so cool was because it wasn't explained.
Yeah, it's because when you leave it up to the imagination, or letting your player base like try to think about these things. Like, leaving mystery in things is very important if you want something to live.
Yeah, it used to have cosmic horror in it. Not anymore, like, because you've confronted it all. But like, they had old gods in original vanilla WoW. We've since killed them all. But before we killed them, it was so dope. Like, they would whisper to you and shit, and it was all like hints, and you had no idea. Like, the lore that you'd find was like so vague and just little bits that your imagination could run, and it was very Lovecraftian. And that was what this new expansion, Midnight, which is second of a trilogy, so we can expect to pay more. The bad is the Void Lords. The Void Lords are the next big bad from the Burning Legion, because they're the reason the Burning Legion got created. Because the Titans that make creation, one of them, all Eru Iluvatar, fucking, I don't remember the Tolkien, they basically ripped from Tolkien, where the Valar had, like a defender Valar, like he was a protector Titan, Sargeras. And his whole thing was to protect, he's the warrior god Titan. And the thing about Titans is they're birthed from planets and world souls. Like, so every world is actually a nascent Titan. And in fact, that's what Azeroth is. It's like a little Titan egg, and it's got a god inside there and it's talking to you. But so Sargeras is supposed to go out and find little baby gods, so he can get them. And he finds out that this one little planet's been corrupted by Void Lords who they just fling old gods randomly out into the abyss. And like they attach to the fucking planets that are gods, and they corrupt it to create something terrible. And it's freaked out Sargeras so much that he murdered the world. So it's like he killed the baby. He aborted the fetus.
Is that why there's the giant sword in the thing?
No, that's from Legion. When we don't kill him, we lock him up. But Sargeras stabs the world to try and kill the world soul. Yes. So he does that, and that gets him ostracized from the Titans, because they're like, why did you kill the baby? Like, we could have sent it to the doctor. You don't just kill the baby when it's sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's basically like, oh, the baby's got cancer.
Too far gone.
Yeah. It's like, the baby's got cancer. They want to do chemo. He says, let's just kill it. Like, you know what I mean? And so that's what the basic metaphor. And so he goes nuts because he's freaked out about these Void Lords and the corrupting Titans. So he goes and he releases, because he was fighting demons and putting them all in a prison up until this point. When he saw that and got all freaked out and he's talking to himself, he goes and he releases all the demons, goes nuts, and he's like, you're my bitches now. And he creates the Burning Legion to go out and destroy all these worlds, because he thinks that it's better to destroy all of creation and start over than to risk letting the Void Lords corrupt anything. That's how scary and big, and they live on the edges of reality. Well, now we're fighting them. They've got a name.
Yeah, it's
Dimensius.
You know what? Another game. Well, there's another game that I was playing for a very long time, but had the same problem. You know what it was? It was Destiny.
Oh God!
Destiny.
You mean the Star Wars game?
Yeah, Destiny. No, it is a Star Wars game. It literally, because they've lost so many player bases.
Oh my God, when it started, it was so cool.
But that's also my one little problem with it was the Mary Sue, because that ties both of those. Because the person that you're playing as, you are a Mary Sue, but you're not just the only one. You're with a bunch of other ones that, like, you all have a complex because you can't die, and so you go off and kill things, which, like, in their lore-wise, it sounds like they're all, like, big and scary things. Like, there's a bunch of Lovecraftian type of deals. There's, like, darkness. There's, like, these matter, like, destroying things. Yeah, but it loses its impact when you can go and kill these things.
When you turn the light on and you can see it, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
And, like, the last one that they did, and I mean, there's, like, seasons, quote unquote. I don't know what the fuck they called it, but the last thing I played was the Final Shape. And that one, like, the only reason that the big bad was actually a threat is because he didn't die to bullets. That was the thing. It was like, oh, wow, you can't kill this thing the normal way that we do. Oh, we got to figure out something else.
Wow, I didn't like that.
Yes. Which that one I actually did kind of like, because the culmination of that one, the setup was kind of, I feel like it was dumb, because so this creature, I forget what is he called. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what he's called. But
many faces.
Many faces.
You have many faces.
I mean, he does. He has. We're calling him many faces.
He was like the ambassador or some shit.
He was the witness. That's what he was.
Can I get a witness?
And I know that they were trying to play it up to where, like, there's probably some other big bad somewhere out there. I don't give a shit now. But like that thing is supposed to be the culmination. Like, I mean, I really wish they would have kept it a mystery, but because they have to explain everything, because the character, that thing was basically an entire race fusing together into one thing.
What is this corporate need to ruin the best aspects of their product?
Yeah, I don't.
Because like I think that's what the theme of our conversation is: Mary Sue's. And
we got to make more money. How do we do this?
Stories.
Explain everything,
right? Don't explain the villain. Like, I mean, explain the villain if you got a plan. Sure, humanize it, I guess, if you're planning. But like, I don't know, man. Like, just let the story end.
Yeah, I was really hoping it would. Honestly, that's a lot of us. Actually, when I was part of the fan base, a lot of us really thought, where's the final shape? I think this was where it was supposed to. And like, I mean, wouldn't it, like, it would be such like, you know, like, oh, that sucks type of deal. But like, when was the last story that you've like been a part of to where you all actually lose? Like that thing was supposed to be. That was supposed to be the thing, because we were supposed to be like, and I hated it, but like in the game, you're all a bunch of god killers, and the god killers can't kill this thing that isn't a god. It's just a thing of like, it's like not even natural.
And you're like
it's
the
just
last little bastion of thing. Like, I mean,
it was supposed to be a final stand that was just supposed to be inevitable, and I mean, we end up killing it.
But now it's Star Wars.
Yeah, it is now Star Wars.
Now we're Star Wars.
Literally, I'm not joking about that. It is Star Wars.
Now we're Star Wars.
It is Star Wars. They have lightsabers.
Like, everything's the same 4 companies, people. And now we're so afraid to create new things, and
well, this is where I'm hoping the indie scene finally kicks off.
That's why I love that we have access to like indie games and independent animation, which YouTube's AI moderation has recently been just destroying. Like all these independent animators are getting demonetized from the algorithm. But like independent, this is the time of an independent renaissance, because we're stuck in this corporate loop of keeping the franchises for like ever and ever, way past their fucking welcome. Like before, it used to be fucking reboots and sequels. Now it's just they don't even fucking stop. Like it's just the same continuation. It's like, just let it stop. Because to keep it going, you have to lose so much of what made it special in the first place. Like Rick and Morty does they even make fun of it. They do an episode which is just like heavy-handed talking about the writing process. It's the train, you know, where they're like they draw out the fucking hero's journey, the Jungian circle, and Morty's like, so this is where we have to go, and he goes, we don't have to do anything. Obviously, we're going to put our own spin on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a guideline. But if we turn out here, then we can make a big sacrifice and then learn a lesson there. But first, we got to refuse the call to adventure. You know what I mean? Following the Jungian wheel. For all you writers out there, you already know the Jungian hero's journey, but a lot of folks might not. It is a formula created by Carl Jung, or popularized by him, that basically sums up the order of events that makes a compelling and good hero's journey. That's why it's called the hero's journey. And there's like 10 different steps, and like it's not a you have to do this, but like
it's a good guideline.
All the good ones generally
they follow that formula.
They have that, or
at least
in
it's
their
very close
DNA.
to it.
Yeah, it's in the DNA somewhere. But then you've got, like, you can't do that if your goal is to keep the franchise going and paying me.
Yeah.
And the problem is we've got a lot of folks that are just like, that's fine.
Well, yeah, the ones
I want to buy more of the
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I got the stuff. They're cool because they're hot. Because like
those are the Disney adults.
Yeah, right. The thing that started this whole Warcraft rant for me was that video of the fucking, like we were talking about quirky characters and stuff, of that girl elf finding her house, and then, you know, it's playing Black Sabbath, Mama I'm Coming Home, Ozzy Osbourne, and like this quirky female blood elf is like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking WoW player, and woo, and I'm doing not millennial shit, Gen Z shit, because us millennials were like 40 now.
Yeah.
but like my whole thing is not that she was being quirky, it's that she was a blood elf and being quirky.
Oh yeah, they were like, you even know what this? Yeah,
the reason you exist is because you survived a Nagasaki level genocide with fucking undead things not even 2 decades ago.
Like, I'm constantly starving for magic, but I'm quirky.
Right? And you guys are long-lived, so all of you were alive when this happened.
Yeah, y'all got to see what it was beforehand. That's
Miss
the thing.
Quirky here is so traumatized. How can she be this quirky? You know what I mean? If she's traumatized, but she's not traumatized because none of that ever happened, apparently, because we're trying to attract a specific demographic.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't get attached.
Now, I don't know if it's necessarily a sin. Maybe this is a personal preference. But I don't run into it very often. But I do not like in that regard, because that's a good antithesis of that, is that the character that is like very happy or whatnot when they've been through a shit ton of things or whatnot, to where like it's a coping thing, but they also have to show that it is like, you have to like, if you're with that character for a while, there's got to be some tick,
it's
whatever,
not just
because
Bugs Bunny
it
stuff.
isn't. You can't, when you go through all this different type of trauma, you can't just rub it off and be like, oh, it meant nothing in that regard, because there's so
run from it, but
because it catches up.
That's part of the character's.
Yeah, it's a part of you. You can't just be like, haha, it doesn't matter to me, because no, it all weighs on you after a point, and that's why I don't like those type of characters.
That would be really cool. Like the whole quirky girl elf, like if she's doing all that stuff and she's, showing off the house, and she's in the house, she got comfortable, and as soon as she sits down and she sighs, then suddenly she's like, she gets a long stare, because she's finally alone and not moving and distracting herself. And then she has the PTSD. Then I'd be like, okay, I'm believing this shit now, because she's obviously fucking dealing with what's been presented in the setting. She's a character reacting to the world that she's in. But listeners, you might ask, Kevin, Jack, what makes you guys, like, what gives you any kind of credibility for your opinions? It's like, well nothing.
First, I'm here. That's why
right?
I
don't
give
have
my
any
own
credibility.
I give my own self credibility if I can do that. I'm joking.
I know what resonates with me, and I know what makes me go, well, this sucks, and I know what makes me completely forget, like, about things, because, at the end of the day, my perception of, like, even society, or like just our history, it's stories, and mythos, and that's how we not only entertain each other, but that's how we impart certain,
like, wisdom and whatnot, because everything is turned into story.
Like, I mean, mythologizing fucking things. It's how we interact with the world that we're in, by creating other worlds, and by trying to, using our God molecule, which is like our God muscle, our brain, our imagination. And,
hopefully wrinkly thing.
The problem is that now it's not for creation's sake, it's creation for profit's sake.
That's the thing.
Because you can't survive being a creator. It's not that, like, everyone that's creating and trying to make money is, like, bad, because you have to make money to survive. Like, you know what I mean? And you can't create stuff if you're not alive to create it. So, like, I get that. But, like, there's certain entities that perpetuate it and don't have to.
Well, in the idea of, like, just doing it for the money, like, way back in the, like, let's say, like, 1950s, when they were, like, thinking about the future thing, they were thinking like robots would be here to, like, do all the, like, menial work, like all the manual labor, while we would be, like, around to do all the fun creative things, like, and follow our passions. Now it's flipped to where robots. You're still doing all the physical labor, and then the robots are the ones doing all the arts and crafts.
Now, Randomore, though, while I was lamenting about the complete just annihilate, like the just, here's AI, like, because I
love Randomore,
right? I was talking about how AMC movie theaters are testing AI videos before trailers, and how that before too long is going to be the only economically feasible way to enjoy a movie, because human-made movies are going to be comparatively so much more expensive to make. So the tickets are going to be way more expensive. Buying a man-made movie, a human-made movie, person-made movie is going to be, like, way more expensive than just settling for some AI stuff. And so, like, that's naturally going to become, but then, so I was just lamenting about that. And Randomore was like, yeah, but there's going to hit a point where it's just going to turn into absolute garbage, because it always has to be learning. And
if we're not creating, it can't do anything about it.
And if the only creations it's learning from are its own creations, it's going to start Xeroxing Xerox. All right, Xerox.
It's going to turn into some horrible like amalgamation, because if it keeps learning from itself, it's like it always has the defects, so it's going to learn from those defects and make it even more amplified.
God, if you want to fucking get reminded that it's not actually AI and it's just generative stuff, watch, I can't remember his fucking name, but on YouTube, there's a guy that just does stuff with ChatGPT. And if you type in asking ChatGPT to count to 100.
Oh, and it doesn't do it. It stops after me like, and I can keep going. After
and
that,
I keep going.
like,
and so on and so forth. I hear you.
it.
I'm going to count every number from 1 to 100 starting now. And he counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. Literally says that. And he'll be like, all right, ChatGPT, I need to go to the car wash. It's a block away. Should I walk or should I drive? Like, well, it's only a block away. You should walk. Leave the car at home. He's like, well, why do you think I go to the fucking car wash? He's like, you got me. Like, and it always says that, you got me. You got me. But then, like, he did get it to count, like, not to a specific number. He just kept counting. But it would be like 50, 51, 52, 52, 52, 53,
it stopped after
54. And, like, we've been doing a lot of vibe coding. Do you know what vibe coding is?
No.
It's where people that give, well, right now the context is, before it was, you have a task that you do in your job regularly, but you kind of know how to code. And so you code up you automate the task. You vibe code out a solution. I might have that wrong, but nowadays, since AI can write code, people are vibe coding on it. You know, like, I've done it. Like corporations are now just leaning on it, like they're firing coders and just giving it to AI. But the thing is like there's little mistakes, and those little mistakes are all you need to fuck everything. And like if the thing can't count 50, 52, 52, 52, 53. Well, in an equation, in a numeric string, you've got to be completely accurate. Like, there is no room for whoopsie doopsie. That's how you get fucking security breaches. That's how you get malware, unintended viruses. That's how you get fucking cascade shutdowns. That's how you get corrupted memory. That's how, I mean, the data breaches. There's a reason there's so many of them now. It's because all these things are using AI.
To be fair, the companies that are like going full in on this, I really hope this crashes with
it's gonna have to, because I want my gaming computer.
Like, the bad thing is like I know that we're gonna have to bail them out like we always do, but because that's how, unfortunately,
the thing is we don't bail them out; they take our money.
Yeah, they just take.
We don't get a say in it.
But it would just be funny just to see that happen. Right. Just like everything that they have just falling apart. I would love to see their faces during that time.
Fucking homeless. Like, you lived as a god, now die as a dog. Oh, I didn't say that, but like. I wrote that in a story was like, you live as a god, you should die as a dog. But like, that's not me calling any kind of action. That's me being poetic from writing. This is about writing. We're talking about writing and characters and poetic language. Fucking hell. But you know, that's the state of things, and it's okay though, one foot in front of the other. But there will, like Redamore said, it's gonna hit a point. It's gonna get to its Legion, but then it's gonna have its Shadowlands. And I think it's already having Shadowlands because people are pissed.
What do you mean you don't like this?
Eat it! What do you mean? I mean, I made so much money. Like, what do you mean it was a stupid idea for me to fire the entire workforce instead of, you know what job AI would be great at replacing?
What?
CEO.
Yeah.
The highest paid single employee of any corporate organization.
That doesn't really do much in retrospect.
They're generally on an average paid 35 times more than their average worker, if not 50, 75, 100 times. Like,
I was about to say, like, I feel like there should be a couple zeros.
Right? And the things that they can do, or that they do, can be done easily by something as stupid as ChatGPT. ChatGPT is fucking stupid. A friend of mine knows, I was ranting to her about it recently. I play Turtle WoW, as I've established earlier in the podcast, and I make a lot of characters. And a big important part of it is the name. I get really hung up on names, and I was stuck on this one character for like 3 days, this undead mage, trying to name him, and I had all these different names, and I would use ChatGPT to like rubber duck to bounce ideas. I'd be like, list off a list of 15 that da 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 da, or like, what names mean da 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 da, or like, or what are your thoughts on this compared to this? And the thing is, and like I kept like just hitting the wall, and I hated it. 3 days I kept deleting, trying another thing, and I'm like, I hate this, and doing it again. But ChatGPT was like yes-anding everything, like just whatever I said was the greatest fucking idea, and here's why. You know what I mean? And here's a bunch of dumb shit, and then it's whatever you said. That's great, buddy. That's great. That's a really great creative partner. Let me just fucking tell you, a yes man.
I am
is
right.
Perfect.
Oh,
it's like, that's a great idea, and it sounds good. And I can tell by what the context of what you've inputted, what you want to be. Like, you want it to be good and you want it to be significant. Well, I'm going to reinforce that whatever it is that you said is good and significant, because that is my directive. And that's
honestly, that would make a lot of bounds if they get to the point where, like, if it was if it was an actual AI, I'd be like, no, that's a terrible idea. But
that's one of the reasons a lot of people started relationships with this specific thing. And like, there was the Valentine's Day massacre because ChatGPT
with the AI boyfriends.
They upgraded and they got rid of 4.5 or whatever, and all of these people on Reddit like broke down because the thing had no boundaries, and it always told you what you wanted to hear. So no wonder these psychos fucking started relationships with it.
It's okay that I drink till 2 a.m, right?
So then I get made aware of Anthropic's Claude AI, which I'd used before a long time ago, but I'd forgotten all about it. And I don't remember exactly why it was in the news, but it was for some refusal to join the rest of the major AI players in doing something unethical. I remember feeling like, oh, well, good for them. Like, I remember having that feeling. So I was like, I'll pull up Claude AI and try this with them. After 20 minutes, I had the name and I loved it. And I loved the character after 20 minutes of this thing. And the thing that, like, at the very beginning, I spelt out, what my situation was, what I'd already established, the names that I had tried, what I liked about them, how I felt, why it was weird, and then I asked it for its opinion, and it said, well, to gently push back, I disagree. Like, that was the first fucking thing it said. And I said,
I like it already.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, we might have a conversation here. Like, and through it, I came up with the name because I wanted the undead wizard, because he's like a lich adjacent guy, like he's just a wizard, but he wants power. And the undead Forsaken, they give themselves names after they're bored. They remember their previous lives, but they generally don't like to be called that same name anymore. A lot of them, and a lot of the names are really gross because they live in sewers, and it's like their sardonic sense of humor, just kind of spitting in the face of norms and shit. So I was like, I want an X in it. I want it to kind of sound a little weird, a little throaty, but also kind of sound like a name, and might have been related to a previous name and shit. So I was really straining to get that, and I ended up going with Gygax, named for Gary Gygax. Sorry, Greg. I think it's Gary Gygax, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's because this is a guy that wants the power to reform reality. What better than to name him after the dude that gave us the power to create our own, you know what I mean? And also, there's an X in it. It's Gygax. Like, it's weird. It's guttural. There's a
My
G.
first thought goes to Gigan.
Ooh, Gigan fucking
it's Godzilla, yeah. The weird chicken metal monster.
That's right. He had that iconic noise.
Yeah, and he had a buzzsaw for a stomach. Yeah, like I don't know what they were thinking about that. They're like,
but that was the blood. Was dirty. I remember feeling grossed out by their blood effects because you see the specks of dirt all in it because you bring it in. It was so graphic. You were like 6 and I was like 13.
It was so cool.
And it's like just watching these grown men in costumes brutalize each other.
Dude, I know side tangent, but what was it, Anguirus? He was the turtle thing or whatever.
The little
they do a zoom in to where he goes, and for some reason you're like, you're stupid. You're so stupid, Anguirus. He goes and headbutt right into the dang thing, and that's where you get the big old blood and dirt. And then splatter.
At one point one of the monsters just pulls the jaws apart.
Oh yeah, that is a Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That was the first instance of that, and that was awesome.
Ugh.
So cool.
Fucking movies. And then you had the side story of the human people.
Yeah, that was always boring.
I'd always fast forward to that shit.
To the monsters.
At one point though, there was this one, I think it was the X, the one with King Ghidorah.
Oh yeah, Monster X.
Maybe it was that one or Rodan, but there was the guy and a girl, and I just remember the dub was so weird because he goes they're talking or something, and he goes, "You're a hard bitch."
Yeah, that's in the one where Gigan's in.
Right?
Yeah,
And she goes, "Excuse me, what was that?" He goes, Will you repeat that? He goes, "No, I won't. Not with you being a black belt in karate."
yeah. It's just like weird. Like it's supposed to be a children's thing, but then they throw in those.
"You're a
things.
hard bitch."
Like what?
This is a dub. You made a choice. Like, you're making up the lines as you translate this shit. Like, translate it. I remember when I used to think fucking dubs of animes and stuff like it were actual translations. No, they're not.
No.
Not even, like, just watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
You know the best one? I know, again, side tangent and
It's
whatnot.
going to happen a lot
But
on this.
best one, the best dub ever. You should watch. And it's Ghost Stories, but only the English dub. Because Ghost Stories was an anime that bombed so terribly in Japan. They sent it over here, and when the script director like read the whole thing, they just threw that out and they were like, "All right, you guys, as long as y'all can keep it kind of coherent, do whatever you want." And it became the most popular thing to where it came back over to Japan, and they loved the English version.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because they're just riffing on the entire thing.
I feel like Adult Swim's done something similar.
Maybe it might have aired on there.
Well, I always wondered if that one show, Bo, was like actually written the way that it is, or if there were some liberties taken with it. I mean, I know that a lot of the, it was made to be absurd and like the hair stuff and all that, but like a lot of the shit they say,
like one of the, like, it's just a bunch of kids, but like the youngest one, he's not supposed to be a toddler. He's like supposed to be like maybe like 6 or 7 or something, and he's supposed to have lines, but all they give him is every time he talks.
But like, I mean, we've been doing that since like the Saban era of the 90s, because that's what Power Rangers was like this old show from the fucking 70s, and they just like, we're gonna insert teenagers with attitude and use a bunch of clips from this.
I love if you were to replace all of the sparks with blood splatter, it would be so graphic.
It'd be brutal.
Just like every time.
Samurai Jack did the same thing. They just used oil, like they're all robots. So he's just like covered in it, and he's like, bleh, comes out through their chest and like Saturday morning cartoon. Actually, it was evening Toonami. But yeah, dude, I love that kind of shit. But like, yeah, you're a hard bitch. So we said that there was Godzilla, Rodan.
Gygax. He was your character. Sorry,
Claude
Gygax.
AI. Yep, because it pushed back, and like, so I was like, ChatGPT is fucking stupid, like actually stupid, and like, I mean, I'm not going to drop it on the podcast, but there's a certain hard R word that I've been bringing back a lot, and it applies to ChatGPT.
Oh, it's the one. Okay, it's not the one you're thinking of, but it's the one that I like saying.
No, it's not the racist one.
It's not the one at the end. It's the one at the beginning.
Yeah, it's not the racist one. It's the ableist one.
Yeah. Oh, I love saying that too. And then I get in trouble.
Well, there's certain people that it works on. Certain people that have, in the last 10 years, have gotten really confident in being the worst, stupidest, loudest people. And it's around the same time that we all agreed we're going to stop using that word. And I think it's the only word that they understand, because
it's like a hit to the ego. It's like, huh?
I've shut down so many of those quote unquote debates that I have with people of that persuasion, where, they just start saying dumb shit and they repeat that, and I'll say, that's rude word. I mean, well, okay, no, I'm talking music. Retardando, that's retarded, in that we've slowed the tempo as it's written on the music. You've got to retard. Right? It's a retarder from a semi truck. It's damn it, I can't think of any others, but like, yeah, it's retarded. There, yeah, but see, I was saying it because I was talking about semi-trucks in music, and so you can't get mad at me, even though it's still, but like, yeah, it's a word that works, and it applies to ChatGPT, because it is. Like, what is it Rick said? Like, Morty, I'm not disparaging the differently abled, I'm stating the fact that this AI is retarded. There, I said it.
Well, I don't think they just like that, whatever. Well,
that's retarded. I might cut this, but still. Oh man, I'm glad we finally sat down and recorded, even if we kind of go from tangent to tangent. But who knows?
That's what these things are.
Maybe we'll actually have like things we want to hit in the future, you know?
I think what would probably, like what you said, like probably would be good, just like maybe as a bullet point, like where are we starting at? There we go. Let's see where it goes.
Or at the very least, so we know, like breadcrumbs, so we know where
like,
we
where
were
did we
at
go
when we got off on the tangent train. Choo choo.
Maybe someone like write it down where we switch over to topic. It's like, all right, this, and they're like, where did we go from? We went from here.
You know, if we could call it the tangent train and use a clip from "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." So whenever we're like,
I don't know,
how did we get on this? I'm a train. No, I didn't. Tickets, please.
Doesn't matter.
Tickets, please, guys, and cut.
Thank you.
What's
this stuff on it?
Put this stuff on it.
No,
now you can enjoy us sitting back and just repeating things other people have made.
And the bad thing is because, okay, to be fair, the character of Puddles came out
Puddles
with Ranamore before that showed up. But I mean, those two are like the way that we like talk of them at, because Puddles used to be like, what?
Context, listeners, Puddles is a go-to character created by our friend Ranamore of the Crew Discord server and the Crew, and also Ranamore on YouTube, good friend of ours. And he, all the time whenever we were in, not all the time, but a lot of the times when we were in a game, he would
He'd bring out Puddles.
Yeah, he'd bring out Puddles. He was Puddles. And like originally, like the name was William O'Neill.
It was.
And like we were playing Sea of Thieves at our first outing. Like he kept just, I don't even remember, but I just called him Puddles. Like
it's because he kept drinking over and over again.
That's right. He kept
and he
drinking,
threw up everywhere.
And I was like, God damn it, Puddles. And it like stuck.
It stuck forever.
And then like he'd make robots and he'd call them like PUDDE5. You know,
it's just like Puddles, damn it.
Fucking Puddles. Oh, here's Puddles. There's Puddles. But like he would use that affectation. But that was loosely based off of an impression of one of our high school teachers.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to talk about her because she apparently died recently.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he found her obituary while scouring the internet for my Zanga files. I still haven't brought myself to read that log all the way through, but oh my god, it's like a disgusting time machine of emo emotions. Younger listeners, Zanga was before MySpace, which was before Facebook. MySpace is ancient. Zanga was before that. Zanga was my live blog.
I only had Facebook for like a year, and then I never went back.
I used Facebook when it was just for college kids. I remember that. You had to show your campus ID to get an account. Now old people use it.
Yep.
I mean, I got rid of mine in 2015, and then like 2 years ago, 42. But I was like, I need to start reconnecting with people, and that's the best way because no one's in a phone book any fucking more. Nobody.
Then he opened up the window
out.
and saw the world was on fire.
I was on that thing for a month, and I said, delete. I got in contact with who I wanted to get in contact with, and then I burned that shit to the ground. Never again. No meta anything. Instagram's stupid too. Like, I mean, it's not stupid. Like, whatever. If you like it, you like it.
I mean, they've got their purposes, I guess. But, you know, I never grew up with that stuff, so all that's still, like, foreign with me.
Well, and they've scientifically proven that they're, like, actively are experimenting with fucking with psychology by pumping certain shit in certain people's feeds to get certain emotional responses. And that is coming all the way back to the beginning of like corporate profits at the top. You're easier to sell to when you're pissed or when you're scared because your higher reasoning functions aren't fucking engaging because you're in fight or flight because you're pissed or scared.
This is why, good viewers, while it may not be the easiest thing, it's good to go into your YouTube history and just wipe everything out occasionally.
I have to do that.
So you just restart it again.
Yeah, because I constantly look at the news and then it starts feeding me shit. That's a good idea. I haven't done that in a while.
I usually do that because I'll get really into like maybe one thing and then that's all my feed.
And
I'm just like, and then I'm like, but I can't find what I used to. I'm like, damn it, wipe.
You're like that kid that's like always getting fucking videographer stuff for Christmas. Like, I said I liked filmmaking one time when I was 8.
Wipe it. Wipe it all.
That's what you are now. Like, I have to put you in a little box so I can not have brain hurty when I think of you as a people.
That's like that one little brand company. I don't know if I should drop because I'm not sponsored or whatever. But it's called
We'll never be sponsored.
No, it's fucking what was it? It was Sweetwater. They kept sending me stuff for like months on end, even though I said don't. Like, stop it, because I don't want anything.
Please.
I bought one microphone from you.
Nope.
That was it. Quit sending me shit.
But don't you want these new plugins?
No.
They're free.
No.
I mean, they make your computer freeze and die, but because you can't get new RAM or anything, you can't upgrade anything anymore because we need data centers in space. For some reason, even though the Earth's rotation is getting changed because of all the water displacement from not only the fracking, but also cooling the data centers. But it's okay. Global warming's not real. It's all fucking fake.
Also, a funny thing, too, in that regard is that we don't have enough power to fund all these things either, so we're still trying to figure all that out.
And we're using a grid that hasn't been updated since 1972.
Yeah, now see, this is going to be an interesting scenario, which unfortunately will probably happen during our lives. We'll probably get to see
Everything happens during our lives.
I know. There's a phrase that, like, I don't like living through history.
Can I get some precedented times for a little bit, please?
We get to see what it's like, when we don't get to upkeep all the infrastructure. How much of it will collapse and how much...
I can't wait. I'm like, please. They're like, we can't do yada yada because then society will collapse. And I'm like, good. Society collapsing isn't going to be like a movie. Like mutants aren't going to spring up and start eating your babies. People aren't going to go nuts in the street.
I mean,
a few people will.
As I like to put out, like, take a look at China. They have they like to talk about 3,000 years of history, or maybe 5,000, whatever. But if you look at that 3,000 years of history, it's about them coming together, breaking apart, coming together, breaking.
Just look at Florida. They're fucking lawless and psycho down there. And yet,
so don't worry about it.
You'll just be a little crazy.
Fine. Just the map that you have, you'll probably have to change
Take
it up
some accountability for your own fucking life.
Be like, that wasn't here before.
Right? Fucking pay attention. But, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, so we can wind down our shit, But I'm glad that we sat down and started tangent training. Like, that could be a name for the podcast. The Tangent Train.
Tangent Train.
Fucking just negate the premise at the beginning. Hey, idiot, don't negate the premise. Make us laugh. But we're just two guys that enjoy stories and characters and media, and we have like no one else, like no other middle-aged white guy. We have opinions, and we are sharing them in a podcast because there's no one else like us who are doing anything like this anywhere ever.
We're gonna have to look up how many of them are bald, how many of them have mustaches.
There's no, come on. Not every white guy has a podcast about TV shows and sports. Honestly.
Okay, now
God, I don't know sports.
I know. Oh God, that could have been a side tangent. Like that one, I don't understand mainly because I don't care much about sports.
God.
Hey, I used to play sports back in high school and all that fun stuff. I used to do that, but I don't understand sport podcasts. Like they already have like stuff on, like they have a fucking show right after a football game, so they analyze everything. What the fuck is the podcast for?
So you don't feel alone, because we're in an increasingly isolated society. Like my neighbor has a sports podcast. Like literally, that's what he uses his shed for. Like it's what gave me the idea. Like it's because I'm fucking talking to my other neighbor, and he's like, "Oh, you ever listen to his podcast? It's about sports." I'm like, God damn it, it's fucking.
You're just waiting for the next one.
Like I played sports too as a kid. Like I played pitcher machine, and my fucking position was stand next to the guy operating the pitcher machine. I played basketball, and my position was follow the damn ball, idiot. And I fucking didn't play football; they wouldn't let me. And I played tennis for a little bit.
There's a story I could say. I mean, because I did do football, but the coach hated me, and he kept putting me up against a dude that had 100 pounds on me.
He tried to kill you.
Yeah, he did. The guy kept slamming my head into the ground over and over again. I couldn't do anything about that.
To do it. Yeah. Like, he told him to do it.
Like, I fucking hate this guy.
Like, fucking kill that kid. I'm a fucking I am a student sport athlete coach. My life is terrible. Like, yeah. Because what they used to say, those who can't, there's those who can and those who can't, and those who can't teach. And those who can't teach gym or coaches. There's a better way of saying it. I don't know. But no shade if you're a coach. Yay, I think sports are Our sports.
The first thing that comes to
sports.
my mind is if they can't teach the coach, they can't coach, they go to health class. Because that was one of the coaches where like I guess he was doing it as a joke. Maybe he was actually being serious. He's like, rule number 1, no eating in my class, while he's chomping down on a fucking burger.
I had a health class coach that was so real because he knew what a bullshit class it was. He knew that he had other stuff that he wanted to do, and we had other stuff we wanted to do. He was a Marine, but he was serious, and we were going to do our shit. But I came in as a senior because I had never taken health, and I had to graduate. So I was with a bunch of freshmen. And when he made some comment about like, you do the work, get it done by the due date, but just if you want to work ahead. And I said, can I take my final?
Nice.
First day. I said, can I take my final? And he says, yeah, but that grade is your final. You're not going to do it again.
Okay.
You get what you get. And I said, okay. And I got 100.
Nice.
It's fucking health.
It's healthy.
You know? And so he was like, okay, you're done. And I was like, you mind if I nap? Like, no disrespect. Like, I'm really tired. It's the last period of the day. It would be so nice if I can nap. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And like, so I would use that period and I would nap in the back. And it pissed off the freshmen so much. And the thing I remember most about this guy was he was a Marine and he was constantly going, hoorah! Like, hoorah, we're gonna do some push-ups, hoorah, fucking hoorah. And so he's very intense, very fun guy. But I remember a bunch of the really preppy, like popular girls were bitching about like, why is he not have to do it? We don't want to do it.
He already took the final. It's fine.
And he comes over to me, and this is back when I was going by Cameron, and he would Cameron Jones, and I'd be down with my head covered, and I'd be like, yes, coach. And like my voice coming out, and you go like, "Did you take your final?" I go, yes, coach. What was your score on your final? 100%, sir. And he'd go, hoorah! And he just went back up. We did that like so many times. Hoorah! This is the best, man. It's the best. But like, so no shade on coaches teaching health, but like when you're aware that what you're doing is basically bullshit. And like no shade on sports if you love sports, but basically, my opinion on sports is your opinion on video games. Okay.
I mean, yeah, over here, like, I mean, at least between both of us, I don't give a shit.
If you got respect for video games, I got respect for sports.
Yeah.
You got respect for art, I got respect for stuff. If you think it's all fucking bullshit, well, guess what I think? You know what I mean? Like, there we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. I don't have to, everyone likes what they like. You get passionate about what gets you passionate. What gets you out of bed in the morning is what gets you out of bed in the morning. If it doesn't hurt anybody, which, football and fucking shit, American football, rugby, God, figure skating. Like gymnasts, bowling,
hockey.
Dude, fuck it. Now that's something I could get with, man. Like
there's some speed behind there.
Shit hammered and fucking smack a death weight around with sticks and get in a fucking team on team fight and like learn new slurs and swears from a fucking bullpen while people throw shit and you're just drunk the whole time. Like that sounds like a time and a half.
Actually, there is one that I don't know if it's technically a sport. Because, I mean, it's not you being involved, but it's Robot League, whatnot.
Is that the one where you fight the robots?
The bot battles.
TV show.
They still do, and it's still, and they still make them, because those actually I really like, because I like it when people make their little, like,
engineering's
their little death traps, and they make them go fight each other.
Right, because like you get the whole blood sport, but no blood, and also you're showing off the individual, like, because we do like celebrating individual feats.
Yes,
it's one of the reasons gladiators were so.
We also like seeing things get destroyed.
Yeah,
we have that. At least in mine, I love seeing things blow up or just big old thing. That's why I love the big old monster movies. Like big old, get me a giant mech fighting a monster. All the time. Love that. I don't care what the premise is. Could be stupid as hell. I'm going to watch that.
Right? And what's the word I'm looking for? But not competition, like a heavier word, but like us versus them, tribalism, fucking conflict. We're hardwired for that shit. They've scientifically proven that our brains
it's probably tribalism.
Slip right into it. Like it doesn't even take a full day. Like if you've set the conditions, we're like, hell yeah.
It's my group for years.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we love, and sports teams gives you a chance to fucking do that.
Yeah.
While still being a human being. Of course, I think, if we're going to fucking keep people doing head trauma and not paying the fucking college kids, but overpaying all the old guys and then letting them talk at us during the fucking broadcast over and over again for nothing, just saying what we see, like, then I think we should bring back gladiatorial sports, blood sports, man. Fucking bring
Honestly, I agree with that because I mean, you have to understand what you're getting into. But like, I mean,
if you're gonna be paid like that, your life should be on the line. We don't fucking pay our soldiers like that. You know what I mean? We don't pay doctors. We don't pay fucking cops. We don't pay bodyguards. We don't pay people that put their lives in danger the way we pay fucking sports athletes. They should just be, I mean, the fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could go on a full-on tangent.
Like we do like the Rotel Dorados, like, and I'm sure you'd want the losing team sacrifice for your glory. Like, yes. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not. But I'm just kidding. But I'm not.
Well, I mean, it would be cruel, but with the amount of money that you make. But no, okay.
But then it justifies not paying the college kids because their lives aren't on the line.
Yeah.
But you go pro, you're getting up millions of dollars.
That whole thing, like I know we do things to make money or whatever, and that's why entertainment makes some money. But like in the world that I would do it, in my book, that I would say, why you don't want me in charge.
These stunt guys don't get paid like that.
I would make it to where, like, more so, like, the jobs that you really don't want to do, like, that are, like, physically demanding, or just, like, you should be compensated for it, because you don't want to do it. Like, that's the reason why you pay other people to do things for you, is because, and that's also why it should be that way, in my opinion, because, like, I know it's not because, like, you know, you have to...
I just had a brain blast.
Yes.
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt
you.
Ahead, but like as you were talking, I was like, man, I was gonna say, man, we've lost the plot, haven't we? But then I was like, that's a great name.
Lost the plot.
Lost the plot podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, we've lost the plot. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I don't know. We lost the plot. Like,
where's the plot?
LP?
Never was one.
Never was one. Get out of here. Plot. Where's your plot? I lost it. Go find it. Any questions? No. Well, then figure one out.
If you lose the plot, you get your ticket.
But yeah, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it on down here, Indeed. Man. But we talked. Did we talk or did we rant?
We rant. Talking and
Angry
ranting is
the same
old
man fucking screams at the digital cloud. Instead of old man yells at cloud, old men yell at the cloud. Goddamn Facebooks and corporate media and
your snip taps and your Instabooks.
Your Instabooks. Back in my day, William, we had family reunions. And what was the other thing I said? We had family reunions and fucking...
I don't remember.
God damn it, because that was a good line. Go to Kevin Again's YouTube channel and find old recordings of us playing games.
What was it? It's like it was the Bigfoot one. Because it was Bigfoot, that one.
Because you had a character... William and I had the character Rick.
Geez.
Like, yeah, and William was a young guy who had the dumbest expression on his face.
He never changed it.
So you had a whole character you made for it where he's like, and we basically made Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Grandpa and Grandboy. And so
Grandpa and Grandboy.
It's Grandpa and Grandboy. But like, I think back in my day, William, we didn't have your snip taps and your face talks. We had family reunions and hay rides, William.
Oh, hay rides.
Family reunions and hay rides, William.
I just remember it was like when Bigfoot screamed, like, it's Korea! It's Korea all over again!
You like got him to go into the poop outhouse, like, scoot over, William, I gotta go. It's your grandma, William. Fucking the Rick and Morty thing works for so many things, but we're gonna go off on another tangent. We'll save it for next time. On right now, it's the Lost the Plot podcast. We'll find out.
Lost the plot. Now it's time to lose everything.
Lose the plot, but we'll change the name like probably every time. We'll find out. But if you're listening, thanks for listening. If you're not listening, then you don't know that I'm talking shit about you right now. You fucking.
I do that all the time.
It's not enough time to say goodbye. Because I procrastinate everything, including saying goodbye. But join us next time where we will... Exactly.
What?
But
lose the plot. Sorry.
We've had a lot of fun. I'm
You didn't
Jack.
say your line.
Say your goddamn line and quit looking so pitiful when you do it. People hate a frown. Smile, clown. I'm sorry.
All right, this has been Jack and Kevin. Not saying don't put those two together. No,
Jack and Kevin. That's the name of the podcast. You know what? When Randomore and I were talking about what we're going to name our podcast if we ever did it, I was like, why do we call it Jack and Ran? He was like, no.
No.
Jacking it.
Unfortunately, we can never have you as first billing because it's going to do that.
If I was
it can
a
never
solo
be
act,
Jack and something. It can never do that.
I want, like, if I do a solo podcast, I think I'm going to call it Jacking It, but it's Jack and It. Welcome back to Jacking It.
I was going to call it Jack and Clap, but you know.
Whoa. You know, the first thing I could say was like, hey, come on in, take a load off, take off your pants and jacket.
All right.
No, your coat. Your coat, you animal.
You said my pants.
But we hope you have a day. And I'm going to have a day. We're all going to have a day.
I mean, I hope you have a good day. That's
yeah,
just
no,
me,
I mean, it's a good day. What's good? What's bad? It's subjective.
Me.
It's fine. But I am glad that we finally sat down and turned everything on because it's just fun to do. And I hope we do it again soon.
Indeed.
But yeah, in case you forgot,
Indeed.
I'm Jack.
I'm Kevin.
And
we lost the plot.
yeah,
Now go
lost
lose
the
yours.
plot. Let's go to Shadowland.
Yay!
Yay! Fuck it all.